after watching this movie as a kid, you're thinking, I'm gonna be shooting missiles off of motorcycles. I wish that was true. Not happening. I'm Bob Keller. I've spent 23 plus years in the Army Special Operations community. I started out in Ranger Battalion, went to Special Forces, and then ended up at a place called the Unit. I'm currently the owner of Gamma Resolutions, where I provide training instruction. Today we'll be looking at Army Special Operations TV and movie scenes and judging how realistic they really are.
1545 Assault Force Delta will infiltrate the target building.
Down at target.
Pretty much legit. Black Hawk Down, I was actually depicting a actual mission that went down in Mogadishu. They're going in to actually grab an HVI, which is a high-value individual. The unit doing HVIs, that is what we do. For the unit, I would say if people don't know what it is, it's the next step up. And you want more. You want more assaults. You want to be better at hostage rescue. That is where you go.
1 minute.
Uniform 6-4, ready for extraction. Over.
Roger that. There's the call. Let's move out.
Working together, absolutely. We would use the Ranger Battalions or Ranger Battalion when we went in to do missions for like our blocking positions. Do we do that all the time? It's very seldom that there's a mission that big that we would use the Ranger Battalion with us. But it has happened, yeah. And it happened in this movie. The 160th, the pilots, and their helicopters, that is something that we only use those guys. So that's 100% legit in this scene.
Secure. Let's move out. Everybody out. Let's go.
Kilo 6-4, green light. Ready for extraction. Over.
Going in, 100%. That is, I would say, the speed that we're doing it and how we would do it in that situation. And when it comes to like clearing rooms, there's never a textbook way to do it. So like that scene, 100% legit going in. The only thing I would that caught my ear, they call it like extraction, like we say exfil. Like, but I guess if you're extracting someone, it would make sense.
3 guys with RPGs coming up on your side now.
So 100% possibility, and it happened. You're hanging around an area that populated and the guys actually have RPGs or any kind of missile system, good chance when your helicopter is getting shot down, right? Especially when you're circling overhead. I've never been shot down on target or going to target, infill or exfil, but I have had multiple times RPGs coming up at us, just we got lucky. They didn't hit. It sucks. It's an eerie feeling. There's like nothing you can do.
Shepard and Gordon are on the deck. Over. Roger.
Friendlies. Pulling him out. Cover.
Them getting dropped off and going out on themselves to help the pilot, 100% legit. That did happen. Would I do that? 100%. Every single person that I worked with at the unit, without a doubt, would be making that same call. No question. Even though that might not be exactly how it went down, they did a really good job. They used all the right advisors. You know, they actually had guys from the unit that were there telling them what to do, and that's big deal with like watching fingers, watching how guns are handled. I would give it a solid 9.
Drop bombs.
You just know what he said, besides drop bomb, right? It's pretty stupid. That was the Special Forces team linked up or had been with the Afghanis, based off one of the first teams that was actually in Afghanistan at the start of the wars.
After 1-7, is it Alpha 595? We need to drop on enemy position. Roger, drop when ready.
I'm calling in the aircraft, and it would have been way more lenient back then at the beginning of the wars. I mean, we hadn't been to war for a long time. So how they did it, you can't say that's not, that wouldn't happen back then, because some of the calls were off on that scene. But yes, absolutely, like an SF team will call their own air support in.
Say again! 8, 3, 9, 6, 4, 5, 7.
Okay, definitely gotta stop. He sends a 7-digit grid, or a 7-digit coordinate, which those don't exist. It's either 4, 6, 8, or 10. So all he gives is 7 numbers. Like that could be anywhere in the world, right? So that's totally off. Shooting from the hip on horses. Good luck making shots doing that. Every movie, special ops, going fully auto. No one goes fully auto, and especially like at the unit. Just not a thing. So they did have horseback, 100%. Like they were on horseback for a lot of their, I wouldn't say missions, but like being over there, because that's how they got around. Being trained on horseback, that's not gonna be a typical thing that you do every single day. Like why go down there and fight on horses face to face with the guys when they had the upper ground to begin with. So why go down there? The Special Forces in the special operations community is supposed to be a force multiplier. I mean, their true job is to go overseas and train your host nation so they can do ops on their own. I only did one deployment with Special Forces, and it was awesome because we did the true SF mission. Like we were actually a force multiplier. For one, they're gonna sex it up a little bit from what the book was or what the actual story was. I mean, it's a movie. You gotta make it entertaining. I'd give it a solid 7.
Mexican Federal Police will meet you at the border. Delta's Team 1 will be the lead vehicle.
Everyone stay in this lane. Our agents at the border are waving traffic through to get us over as quickly as they can.
Unrealistic. Not gonna happen. Or shouldn't happen. Because if it does, you sucked at planning. Yeah, so they were going into extradite one of the drug lord's brother to get him out, to bring him back to the United States. Could it happen? Yes. I mean, there's things that happen at the unit that you might not know about it. But I can't actually say yes. I know of this happening. But if you did have unit guys on that op, they wouldn't be going out on those vehicles. You're probably going to go across the desert. You're not going to go across the border where everyone's at. Like, why not get them in a helicopter and then fly out, right?
Wait. Photos.
Well, 100%. You get a gun pointed at you. If you don't engage, you die. So I mean, there's no other answer. But if they're like special ops guy or special ops guys or ex-special ops guys, those are easy shots. That is not endangering any other person. And there would be nothing wrong with how they approach the vehicle. I actually thought flow was pretty good coming up, almost in an L shape. Going up the vehicle. So many different ways you can do that. Finger on trigger, holding the gun, not good. Just typical in all the movies, right? Like, just what is so wrong about the movies is the weapons handling, which his is on the trigger right there, and he's not pulling the trigger or he's not engaging. Finger should always be off the trigger. When she saw the guy in the rearview mirror, awesome. The thing I liked about that, the very beginning of her holding the gun, both hands on the gun, not a bad grip. Finger wasn't on the trigger. She actually readjusted in the seat to make that shot. That was 100% what you should do. Both hands stay on the gun, readjust in the seat to actually make the shot.
Right clear! Clear!
And that's just kind of another one of those movie bloopers type thing. Every other lane is still stuck. They make the shots, kill the guys, then they get in the truck, all of a sudden the lane's free and they're totally fine. They just take off. That, not too bad. Getting in the vehicle at the end there, you want to get going, right? I mean, and you want to go as fast as you can, get out of the situation. And you can still get guns up when you're in the back seat, no big deal. So it's a judgment call. I wouldn't say it's right or wrong. Because they get stuck at the border in traffic, because of that, straight up no-go, but because it's kind of cool, it's a movie, everything put together, I would say I'd give it a 7.
We'll get your house back for you. Mission's a go, Colonel.
So this is supposed to be the unit coming in on these gunships, and they're gonna save the White House. I mean, you can never say never. We're not supposed to do missions in the United States. I mean, that's how anything military, it's the whole apostille comitatus, right? That would be one situation, the White House is down. You should probably come to the best guys at hostage rescue, right? I can't say what happened. Should it happen? Heck yeah.
Drop to 10 feet. Falcon 2, dropping at 10 feet.
Would you actually come in on helicopters for a mission like that? That's all situation dependent. I'm probably not going to infill from the air on a mission like that. And then flying through the streets, how cool is that? They're masking that they're actually coming in is what the reason why they're doing that. Would you actually pick that route? Probably not. I mean, you could do a false insertion or have them there as a distraction. I mean, there's tunnels going into the White House. There's all this there's other ways to get into the White House that you would have privy to if this was going down.
DC, there's total gridlock through. Oh my God! U.S. Special Forces are flying over us.
It's funny that the reporter, as they're flying over, she's saying, "Oh, it's special forces coming over." How the heck does she know that? It doesn't say special forces on the helicopter, but it's the movie thing.
They've got missile lock. Evasive maneuvers.
And that's another thing too. Like you would have done the research before going. Like you would know that these guys have any kind of heat-seeking missiles. Like so, you'd be like, all right, coming in on helicopters, that's out of the equation. We're not using air assets to do this. But it looks cool, and why not? This one's kind of janky. I'd give it a 4.
I remember when I was with Special Forces.
Instincts to kill without feeling.
I mean, classic movie. I loved this as a kid. This is one of the reasons why I probably went in the military. So the guy's kind of losing it because of what he's seen and what he's had to do and his time being an SF guy. Do I relate to that? Not even close. Can that happen to someone? Absolutely. I mean, that is, some people relate to war differently. So this is Captain Willard, and he is part of the MACV-SOG, and he was sent to go find the colonel. They got to do some really cool stuff. Are they sending those guys to do assassinations on Americans? Highly doubt it. So I would call no. That's a straight up movie thing. Coming out of the water, that's like another movie thing. It's like the coolest thing, right? Yeah, but if you were coming up a stream or coming up a river, could have happened, yes. And he's like camoed up. He's got his face camoed, absolutely. Like if you're in the jungle and you don't want to be seen, you want to have the right camouflage on. You don't want any white showing, and going at night, 100%. Like you want to do everything at night. Unconventional warfare and doing stuff other than just shooting, absolutely, that's what those guys did. This is just basing the scene, not the whole movie, because movies, I think, is an awesome movie. The scene, how it's played out, I mean, I give it a 5 just because it's Apocalypse Now. Classic, I always wanted to be Rambo. What kid didn't? So Rambo First Blood, I mean, is going off of he's a ex-SF guy from Vietnam. All this stuff would be 100% legit. Like as a SF guy being in the woods. So you'll be trained on like booby traps and all these tactics, but are you getting a lot of it? Like you might get one class. Now some guys will actually train on this, like on survival stuff all the time. John Rambo trained on that all the time, and he had done it in Vietnam for years and years. Like that's probably ingrained in his head. I mean, you're done. I mean, because he knows how to live in the woods, right? So 100%, this is legit.
I'm telling you the law. Out here, it's me. Don't push it.
In this situation, he's not wanting any trouble. They push it upon him, and now he has to use his skills. I think most special ops guys getting out of the military do continue to do that in other organizations, or they do it, create their own business doing it. It's kind of because, for one, you might miss it, and I think for others, it's just all you know. Like if you go in the military at 17 years old, so yes, that happens. Even though the scenes might look a little bit hanky, but the reality of this guy doing all this stuff to these guys and it being that easy, 100% legit. I mean, I give it a 9.5 easy. I mean, it's almost a full 10.
We're going after a CIA asset that's been captured.
6 minutes to the DZ.
A lot of unrealistic stuff right off the bat. In the scene, the whole thing is it's the unit team going in to rescue a CIA spy. Yes, I mean, that is our bread and butter. We are supposed to be, at any notice or at any time, be ready to go do a hostage rescue mission. But as the scene shifts to them being inside and they're in the helicopter talking. So they're talking like normal, like you wouldn't be able to hear what the guy's saying. And they go to that scene right there, and it actually shifts to them on the mics, like actually how it would sound. Straight up movie stuff. Not realistic at all. You got a JTAC with assigned to them or attached to them, and he's the one who's going to be dropping the bombs. We wouldn't be just using a JTAC. We'd have a CCT guy. I would say, without a doubt, especially for a mission like this, 100% of the time, you're going to have someone that can drop bombs with you.
Hey, walk in the park.
All right, walk in the park. Yeah, just jump out. No big deal. They're doing a Halo. Halo. It looks like it's not a. It's because they're opening low. So everyone at the unit is Halo qualified. Is it a mission or is it a infill platform that we're going to use? Most likely not. And it's all because of once you get under canopy, is everyone going to land together? Right? If everyone doesn't land together, well, pretty much mission's over. So like to do that with a guy that does it, that's never jumped before, never ever going to happen. He'd be hooked up to one of the operators, tandem him in.
Let's go, come on, get up.
But he made it. Awesome.
Bomb.
Reaper, you are cleared hot.
Say again, you are cleared hot.
Copy. Target acquired.
Never happened. You could not do that. He's about ready to call this bird in and launch missiles. He's not doing that by himself. Like he has to have a ground force commander saying, Roger, you can actually drop bombs. And he wouldn't be sitting there by himself. Like you have a JTAC with you, you're not gonna leave the guy alone. And it would usually be, it'd probably be two people. It'd be whoever's the team commander or the ground force commander, whoever's gonna be in charge making those calls. And then you'd probably have another shooter with those guys as well.
Don't have 30.
That's a tough one with the kids involved. Is it a friendly kid? I mean, the kid can be friendly on either side, right? So that is a tough call. And yeah, I mean, me personally probably would have done that. Like that could be different for every team, right? Or it could be different for every guy. One guy could just be like, no, I'm not gonna watch this. I'm gonna do it, and then get in trouble from everyone, from his commander, right? So that's a tough one to say, oh yeah, that's 100%. Oh, because of the opening scene in the helicopter and all like that being so wrong, not only just movie wrong, but tactically wrong, because of that, because the rest of it, actually the gear's not bad, weapons handling's not bad, all that put together, it would be split. I'd give it a 5.
Ba ejaze shama aga. Morata tajir hastin.
You're not required to learn a language, but a lot of people will actually do it on their own or ask to go to a language school, so they actually know. So that wouldn't be far-fetched.
Lock the alley with the mule. The commander can see the laser designator. Check car.
Got it. Weapons released.
Calling airstrikes, 100% could happen. How it happened, I mean, it's the weird scene. I mean, the only thing I would say on that whole thing was good was like moving the donkey so he couldn't actually see. Like, good call on putting that in the scene. Besides that, it's hard to watch. You're not gonna put the target identifier in the street of a market. That's why I said that whole scene is just, it's just embarrassing.
Yes, sir, Dad! Some blood on them boots!
Who is Machiavelli?
A statesman and political philosopher in Florence.
When?
You're selected now. Yeah, so that's hard to watch. Everything's wrong. So I can't go into selection of the unit selection, but I can tell you that doesn't happen. That's funny. Like, you don't want to make it easier for anyone coming after you, right? So I mean, we try to keep selection a very tight-knit secret thing, which I would want to do. But I can say anyone in the military can try out for the unit, which is awesome. We'll take a guy from the Air Cav, or we'll take a guy from the Coast Guard, we'll take a guy from the Navy, whatever, right? I started out Ranger Battalion. My whole thing was I was going to go to Secret Service after I got out of the military. After that happened, 9/11 kicked off. That's what got me to go back into Special Forces. Once I did one rotation with Special Forces, that's when I went to the next level. So that's what brought me to the unit. If it was going right off of just the second scene with the selection, I'd give it a 1. But because the other scene is somewhat like that could actually happen, we could have to do something like that, I'll give it a 2. You're lucky for getting a 2.
Going somewhere?
That's Chuck Norris right there. Perfect. I mean, right here is the reason why I wanted to go to the unit as a kid, right? Unit-wise, going out and using bikes, I don't personally know of anyone or any team using it. But like Ranger Battalion, we used to have like these like mini bikes that you could jump in and then you could drive down the runways with. I know that there's been talks on certain missions to use them. Like that could be a means. Kind of talking about the course of action, what, you know, how we can infill, how we can exfil. Could it happen? Absolutely. I mean, why not? I'm always asked about like the whole hand-to-hand thing. That the hand-to-hand thing just never happens, or very seldom does that happen on target because we always have a gun on us. Why would I use a knife when I could use a gun? Why would I use my hands when I could use a gun? So unrealistic, but awesome because it's Chuck Norris. After watching this movie as a kid, you're thinking, I'm gonna be shooting missiles off of motorcycles, right? I wish that was true. Not happening. He's got grenades or freaking mortars that come out of the back. So he goes in between the Jeeps that have guns, and now you're in front of them. I mean, that would be the most dumb thing you could ever do in your life, right? Because they're gonna shoot you, your back's to them. But awesome scene, and as a kid watching that, huge recruiting tool. Like you're gonna be like, heck yeah, I want to drive motorcycles with missiles and guns on them. So great job on that, but realistically, absolutely zero. On the Chuck Norris, that movie, I mean, god dang, it's so unrealistic, but because it's Chuck Norris and it was because it just made it look so cool, I mean, I'd have to give it a 5.
This is Bulldog. We have the Mike Force in position. Let us know when you're ready. Over.
I haven't seen that one in a long time. But classic movie. But like operationally, you wouldn't wear a braid. They might have back then. I mean, that was Vietnam days. You don't wear a braid. Like you wear them like dress-wise, and like, you know, like around the base or something. I don't know what uniform you're using. You'd have your braid. Yeah. So Special Forces. Most people know them as the Green Beret, and that is the beret, and the reason why is because the beret you wear is green. But usually, like they showed one guy with tiger stripes and he had a boonie cap on. That would have been more of a field uniform instead of an actual beret on your head.
Yes, sir. I'm going to the tower.
But like on target, usually leadership will go to the rooftop. I mean, that's how you're making calls, right? You have a lot more visibility, but I mean, you are literally stuck in a tower now. And that's exactly what happens. It gets blown up and they fall out. Just luckily it falls real slow and he's fine. But because it's John Wayne, I gotta give it at least a 5. The one I would pick for like my favorite special operations movie would be Black Hawk Down because they did such a good job on the realism of it. Thanks for watching. If you like this, why not click on the next video?